So so in math, when we say simplifying means to put something. For example, you have an expression and you want that variable to appear the least amount of times. So, for example, if you have a formula, or if you have an expression like x squared over x, then you're gonna simplify that to be x, right? So, what simplifying means is just to make is to put something in its simplest form, where no operations are going on and or some tenets are satisfied. So in simplifying radicals, we have four rules. The radicand, the one inside the radical, should not have an should not have a power that is greater or equal to the index. So for example, if I had an index of 2, I cannot have a radicand that has a greater power within it. Okay, so here this is our rule number one. So rule number one says that you cannot have a radicand having a power greater than the index. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through some examples and we're gonna try to see what are so how about this problem? How do we solve this problem? So it's gonna be 5x is 3 over 2, and it's gonna be y 1 to the 1 half. So we need to multiply the numerator and denominator by y and 1 half to rationalize it, and we're gonna end up with the square root, the x square root of 5x y over y. So it's gonna be our answer. And y is y. So what happens here is that we have 2, and we know that x to the 5 over 2 is equal to x to the 1 half times x squared. So that means that we have 2x squared, and we have a y, and we have this. We have one more x, and we have here, and they are going to be within the radical 3x. So this is the simplified form for the radical, and so the reason why we needed to simplify it is because we have powers that were greater than or equal to the index of the square root, right? So now we've encountered rule number 1. Now let's encounter rule number. Alright, so now we're gonna start. So now we're gonna simplify this radical. So in order to simplify this radical, what we need to do is to look at each element carefully. So 16. So 16 to the 1 over 6. Sorry. 16 to the 6. X 4 over 6 and y 2 over 6. Now we know that 16 is just 4 squared, right? So 16 is 4 squared raised to 1/6. Now x to the 4 over 6 is just 2 over 3 and y 1 over 3. This is going to become 4 to 1/3. And now we see, should have written that. So the final answer should be x to 2/3 and y to the 1 third. Now what we need to do, what we can realize here now is that we now have factors. So we now have 4x squared y, the cube root of 4x squared. Now we see that the only common factor between the index and the powers in the root is 1. The only common factor between 3 and 2 is 1. Between y and the index is 1. Between 4 and index is 1. So, so rule number 2 is that no power of the radicand must have any other factor than 1 to the index. So the index and any power within radicand should only have a factor of 1, nothing else, just 1.